Oh, the fuck. I like that. Mo the
So we're now recording.
fucker. Mo the fucker.
All right, motherfucker, you wanna start us off, or
You start right this
I'll
time,
try to
Mo?
start, yeah, this time I think I'll start us off hopefully correctly. Well, welcome back everybody to part 2 of
Mo the fucker.
this is FNAround with Mo, Mike, and Joe.
I'm
At
Mike?
the Clover
I'm
Club.
Joe.
Last time we were talking about the company you were working at. Well, it was the lighting company, right? If I'm not
Right,
mistaken.
so we ended the last show for time, and just because we didn't really have to do anything else, so we just ended it when we did, and then we didn't start it back up, so here we are again, a day later. I had to re-listen to it to remember where I was. So really where I was I got promoted by the company, Translux, that had we had merged with, or whatever you want to call it, partnered with. They bought us. I don't really remember exactly.
They acquired you?
Acquired. There we go. So they wanted me to go down to their factory in Des Moines, Iowa. And I didn't want to do that. You know, nobody wants to go from Chicago to Des Moines.
What the fuck's in Iowa?
Huh? The caucus is every 4 years, basically. You know, it's small, and but anyway, you know, I'll get into that. But so they wanted me to move down. I was able to negotiate, you know, a higher salary, a return back to Chicago. They wanted me there for a year. You know, I said 6 months. We ended on, well, I think 6 is what we actually ended up deciding on, because that was, you know, I didn't think I needed to live in Iowa to, you know, pick up what I needed to pick up. Like, it was kind of like, go down there, learn what I got to learn, and go back to Chicago. Well, 3 months into living in Iowa, they sold, or, you know, dequired.
Rolled off.
Yeah. The lighting division. So when I was talking to, you know, people back in Chicago, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. We just got sold to one of our customers. We're all leaving this office and going over there. There's no office for you to come back to. I'm like, well, what? Like, you helped me negotiate my deal for coming, like, doing this. You couldn't give me any hint that
That it was
wouldn't
like
be any place for me to come back to in 6 months. You know, like, I was leaving in February, and I was planning to come back in August, something like that. And, yeah, 3 months in, and, you know, suddenly there is no more Translux lighting division. And I was like, what the hell? So what they then made me was the project manager for their largest customer. And their largest customer was going after deals, proposals that were for Times Square, and, you know, what was another one? A really fun one was ASU. Sports book at the Venetian, I think, in Vegas. They've got
That sounds like a fun expense account.
right. You know, they had the old original stock tickers
Yep.
on the Board of Trade here. You know, they're like 90 years old or something. You know, whatever old they are. You know, so that's part of what they, you know, part of their history. So it was, you know, I was like, all right, well, you know, maybe I don't still have to, you know, this isn't permanent in my mind yet. You know, I had only signed a 6-month lease on the apartment. You know, like, again, I could have gotten cheaper rent had I signed a year lease rather than a 6-month lease. But then I had to keep extending it. So I ended up living in Iowa for about 18 months. I went from the project manager for our biggest customer to the service department manager. That was in a mess. I took that over, and I turned it around, got them, like, to where they were, like, 8 weeks out on repairs. I got them down to 6, 4, then down to 2, and 11 days was, like, the goal,
Nice.
and I got it there. You know, felt like I was really doing well with the C-suite crowd. They seemed to really like me. Every time they came to town, they were, you know, wanting
Rocking and rolling?
wanting to go out with me. Mike, let's go, come on. let's go get dinner. Let's go get drinks. Let's go have some fun in Des Moines. What are we gonna do here?
What is there to do here?
Right. And a lot of it is
Steak and strip clubs?
I don't know. We didn't go to any strip clubs. It's weird. Iowa's weird. I don't even remember seeing any strip clubs now that I think of it. I know they had to be there, but I'm just saying, like, maybe not Des Moines proper or whatever the county was,
Right.
But yeah, like, it felt fun. It was cheaper, but I had a really hard time making friends there. I started going to bars by myself trying to make friends, and, people were, I would say, nice, but not friendly. I'm still an outsider with my Chicago accent that I cannot hide.
And they hid the farm girls from you.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the farm girls.
Right. Well, I mean, they all think I'm there to dig a hole in somebody's cornfield.
Literally.
So, nobody really wants, and, the one dude I did kind of have a connection with, he was, another guy at work.
That was a weird segue.
No, it was just this cool like motorcycle dude who like
Just
I
saying.
could just talk
I was
shit.
about to make a joke about did you ever play hide the corn in the field, and you were just segueing to the guy you had a connection with.
Into the one guy he had connection with.
If we could only see into Joe's head and known that joke was coming, it might have been worth telling. But yeah, man, while I was down there, I had my girlfriend at the time kept visiting me, and then we ended up getting married down there.
In the cornfield?
No.
With the children of the corn?
No, it was at some park. Did an outdoor wedding at a park with a judge. It was nice.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, no. So that's actually a funny thing because I didn't invite anybody. We got engaged and married in 3 days. I had known her for, like a
You
year
guys did
and
a
a half,
shotgun
2
wedding.
years. Huh?
It was a shotgun wedding.
Well, so she was a med student,
Uh-huh.
right? And she was going for her residency. And I wanted to make sure that, like,
Locked it down?
It locked down, but not also, like, I wanted to make it easier for her to get her residency. She was not a U.S. citizen at the time. So I figured it'd be a lot easier. Hey, let's get this done before you have to start filling out applications. And this was all my idea, people can't say, hey, she kind of screwed you in that. I'm like, no, that was all me. I was the one who, pushed it and was like, let's do this to make it easier for you because, it's really hard for that kind of
How'd
class
you meet
of
her?
people. Tinder. Yeah, we met on Tinder.
I was going to make a joke, but I'm like, let me just ask.
Yeah, back when Tinder was not full of catfish, I guess I could say. But
But you could just still get laid easily.
right, or at least get real people
Right.
on real dates and not just links. So where was I? So we got married. She started filling out her application. She got a job offer in New York.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, cool. Well, that kind of really works out well because Transalux's headquarters, their offices are in New York, in Midtown. So I'm like, this could work out for me. I was at a conference or a convention type deal with a bunch of our dealer partners, and I told the COO, who was really I felt really close to at the time, this guy Al. I told him, hey, she got her thing, and told him what hospital and everything, and he's like, oh, it's a horrible neighborhood. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just kind of telling you that, like, this just leads a segue into, hey, I can have no problem moving to the New York and working out of the New York office now. I don't have to go back to
Iowa.
Iowa. I don't have to stay in Iowa. I don't necessarily have to go back to Chicago. I can go and I can, commute from Queens into Manhattan every day and still do this job. And I was the service manager at the time, and I was like, I don't need to be on a floor or anything. Like, I'm not doing the repairs. I'm handling the customers who are all pissed off that something isn't working, and I'm dispatching repair guys. We got repair guys all over the country. So none of what I had to do had to be done in the factory. Right. I could easily be remote. Before it was like the thing to do.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing a little bit, and Al's who's the COO, Chief Operating Officer, and he was really helping me out, guiding me, really mentoring me well. When I wanted to ask her to marry me, I called. He was one of the people I called, and he said, He's like, well, you gonna ask her mom, because he knew that her parents weren't together. He's like, so you're gonna ask her mom permission? I was like, I want to, but I don't know how to call.
How to reach her?
I don't know how to call her. I was like, I have a number, but
Huh.
you know, he's like, here's what you do. He goes, on the office phones, you put in this code that unlocks it so you can call internationally. He goes, and then you put in this code, and that's the code for the country, and then you put the phone number.
Oh shit.
I'm like, all right, cool, thanks, man. So like, I like even wrote up a thing in Spanish to ask the mom.
Did you write up the answers so you could get the answers translated?
The answers, no, I wrote up like a little like request, or you know, my
I mean, how'd you know what her answer was?
like if she was approving or not. He's saying.
right. Well, thankfully she did know more English than I knew Spanish. So her answer was basically okay as long as she's happy. You know,
Nice.
take care of my
That's good.
daughter, that kind of stuff. So I was like, oh, you know, it felt great, and then
At least it wasn't like going to a networking event where we're being offered conscious.
right. Conchas. Yeah. So, you know, she moves to New York. She's got an empty apartment, basically, right? All the stuff's with me in Iowa. I'm talking to Al about this. He's like, well, why don't you just send her some stuff? I'm like, all right, well, you know, I got a limit here or anything. He goes, I mean, don't go too crazy, but he's like, yeah, send her, you know, utensils, pots, pans, TV, whatever, you know, she needs for the apartment. If you've got it here and you don't need it, you know, yeah, send it to her. Use the, you know, the office mailroom that's under your jurisdiction anyway.
Right.
I'm like, sweet. So I start doing it. Nobody questions me whatsoever. None of the employees or anybody in the building, and I'm not hiding the
Right.
fact that
Right.
you know I'm excited that I'm going to be moving to the New York office.
Back
Like
home.
I had not gotten a solid yes, but I had gotten like, yeah, man, we want you here. We want to do this. We just got to figure out, you know, your benefits packet. You know, like there's kind of BS that they were kind of feeding me. Well, one week I'm talking to Al, and I'm trying to get a hold of Al, and I can't get a hold of him. You know, he's not picking up his phone. He's not answering text messages. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So, towards the end of that week, I get called into the office manager's office, who he was new to Des Moines that same year. We became pretty close.
Mm-hmm. He's the guy from the cornfield with you?
No, this dude was from. They were planning to move or open up another facility near St. Louis.
Okay.
So he had come from there, and he was going to run both buildings. So he was just you know, I thought he was a pretty cool dude, and you know, he's like, hey man, you got to come to my office for a little bit. I'm like, all right. So in his office, he goes, so and so is on the phone. It was HR. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Can you explain these packages, these mailings going from your department to a private residence in New York? And I was like, yeah, it's going to my new apartment where my wife is currently living. She's doing the residency. Remember, Al? Like, we're just waiting for everything to get finalized. Okay, did you have approval for those? I'm like, yeah, you know, Al told me to do it. Okay, do you have that in writing? I'm like, no, it was a phone call. Me and Al talking, you know, flying back and forth on the phone all the time. Well, we can't get a hold of him. And so we found this, but since we can't get a hold of him, you know, we can't corroborate that you had permission to do this. So basically, you stole from the company, you're fired. I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, how much did I cost you guys? Here, the invoice from UPS or whoever was $200. Probably would have cost me $5.
Right.
Right.
You know? But because of how much we sent through there, and that was part of the reason
You get
for
the
them
discount,
telling me to do it, and then I also didn't have to leave the office to go drop the boxes off, stuff like that. And because of how flexible and awesome I was, like, on just getting the job done.
Did anybody ever get a hold of Al after that though?
I was about to ask.
Like, did you get a hold of him after this?
I
or,
never
like...
did.
So
No.
till
He
this
just
day, you never
disappeared?
talked to nobody.
Right. So to this day, no. I won't say what I wanted to do or what I kind of started to do. But let's say that, you know, headlines this week, you know, I felt for that dude a little bit. You know, I felt it. I had some empathy there. But yeah, so I got, you know, shit canned, and you know, I drive back to Chicago. Was here for maybe a month working at a little hot dog stand, trying to scrape together some money, and then I hopped on a plane to New York to go, you know, be with my wife. And you know, that was just even harder. New York is a tough fucking town to just live in. You know, it's massive, and nobody trusts anybody. You know, like all my friends who were there from high school or college had left by that point, so there was nobody there for me to really like, you know, hey, can we go hang out, do stuff? You know, my wife at the time, she kind of seemed like she was getting instant friends, you know, from the hospital. And then I would try to kind of hang out with some of the, you know, other, I guess, significant others or whatever. And, you know, they were never really my friends. They were always her friends.
Right.
And then that transferred when she graduated from that program and went to downstate Illinois. It was kind of the same thing. You know, she's the new town doctor. Everybody loves her. I'm the new
You're
town
the husband.
asshole.
Town drunk.
You know. And I guess, yeah, so it was just really hard. I gotta say, you know, I felt like I didn't have friends for almost 8 years.
Yeah.
Because nobody was my friend. I couldn't. Every time I came back here, you know that song by that dude Joe, well, you know, back in Chicago, the Chicago song. You heard it?
No.
No,
You?
it's
No,
the
I don't
dude
know.
from
I don't think
Stranger
so.
Things made a song. He went to
Oh.
DePaul. He made a song
Oh.
about the city, but it was like, you know, when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it, and I was like, hell yeah, I do. You know, like I would get energized every time I came back to the city.
Like recharge your batteries. A little
Yeah,
social.
exactly. And then I kind of started to feel like, man, being out of the city is almost toxic for me.
Yeah.
You know, I can visit other places. You know, I loved going to New York when it was just work trips or fun trips, but living there, I would never suggest it to anybody. You know, like it is true. If you can make it there, you could probably make it anywhere, but it is hard to make it there. Yeah.
How are the bodegas?
They're hit and miss, really. You know, it's kind of like here. They're like corner stores
No,
with.
I remember you talking about it with Big Zod. That's why I want to say it.
Oh yeah, well, you know, they good sandwiches. You know, good lunch stuff like that. You know, but yeah, everything's full. Everything, all the stuff on the shelves is full of dust. Absolutely, just like in Half Baked. Yeah, man. So you know that. Then you know I.
Is
had my
Al still
problems.
with the company today, or did he finally?
I have no idea. My belief is this. So it's funny. I think that dude was like some sort of like Hitler Youth or like grandkid or kid of some escaped Nazi. He was Colombian and German.
Oh shit.
Or he was Argentinian and German and grew up in Colombia. Like one of those, like some weird thing. He said that to me and I was like, what?
How does that
I'm
happen?
like, you sure you should be talking about this? You know? Am Assad gonna go kicking down some you know, your door for talking to me? You know, and I have nothing to corroborate that with. That was just my own feelings when talking to the guy. You know, I definitely hope he died of a fucking horribly painful heart attack, to be honest.
The fact he never reached out or did anything says a lot.
Yeah.
It was like a setup.
Yeah, and I mean, I got turned down for unemployment in Iowa, Illinois, and New York. They blocked me at
Because
every
they said
turn.
you did theft.
Yeah,
I mean, he probably realized that he fucked up at some point.
I doubt
then-
it.
and then-
I
and then,
guarantee
like-
you that dude has destroyed hundreds of lives.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. Zero, you know, zero fucks given either.
They probably looked at your package and realized they had to change for cost of living and it cost more to move there.
It would have. It would have. They would have had to give me about maybe 10 to 15 more K a year. Just for the adjustment. But I
Like
felt
him talking about how shitty that neighborhood was in New York was almost like him saying, "Yeah, you're not going to come here."
right.
Oh, like-
and that
like
was
trying
I mean,
to, like,
yeah.
trying to convince you not to do it.
right.
Yeah.
Right, and it was already a
And
done
so
deal.
he's like, fuck it, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna get him fired
Like,
instead.
But this dude was helping me. He had a buddy of his who was a doctor in Hawaii call my wife, ex-wife now, to talk to her about looking at residencies out there. You know, and he was like, look, it's beautiful, it's awesome, it's paradise, but you got to realize you are 7 hours difference from the mainland. And, you know, it's this, it's that, it's the other thing. But he seemed like he was helping me along that way, trying to help her get her residency in. And he didn't seem to mind where it was, but he, you know, he was, he seemed,
Against New York.
no, into it. Like she interviewed at 3 hospitals in New York because he was like, she should come to New York.
So he wanted her in New York, just not you.
Right. So then he gave me some weird story about how his like daughter was working at Cleveland Clinic and her husband was living in Columbus or something, and oh, they made it work. I'm like, we just got fucking married, Al. Like, we literally just got fucking married. Why are you trying to split us up, dude? Like, come on. You don't have a shot with her. And he always thought he was, God's gift to women, too. One of those, bald yacht driving, bronzed up, gold chain wearing dudes. That's definitely his
Did he
style.
have like a pickup truck at all or not? Not that type of guy.
Oh, no pickup truck.
No
This
pickup
guy
truck.
was, probably Cadillac or something.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he was the smartest person at the company. Like everybody else was running it into the ground.
No shit.
And I do think that was like I haven't really even paid attention to their stock prices and all that, but I even got screwed out of that. Like I was supposed to have stock when they picked us up, and I never found out. Oh, like I'm holding on to it so you don't have to pay taxes on it. And I'm just some idiot kid, 20-something kid. And I'm just like, okay, well you're older than me. You've been through this kind of stuff. You know what you're doing. I'm gonna, okay, I'm gonna keep listening to you, like, and then, I mean, we've talked about how then I got divorced. I got, super depressed, down on myself. I get back to Chicago. All my friends who were here are all suddenly, super married, or, they got a bunch of kids, or they're just too, calling themselves too old to go out anymore. And I'm like, fuck. What am I supposed to do here? And then this past, January, February, I, reached out to Joe. Joe was like, get your ass down to Taylor Street. Let's go hang out. Let's go to this. My little brother bought Little Joe's bar on Taylor Street. Let's go have some drinks. And, a few months later, here we are on air. Yeah, I sped through the end of that a little quick.
You did. You went to so much detail about everything else, about it, including high school and middle school, and then you just rushed through that last thing.
Well, I gotta say that the story yesterday seemed like it ate up our time really fast. So I was kind of telling myself like, okay, I gotta
give some time for
Mo. Right, I gotta give some time to Mo. We gotta find out how did the motherfucker get here.
Motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
Oh man.
Motherfucker.
All right, so should I go back to like day one when I was born, or like how far do I have to?
No,
go?
we only speak English here.
Oh, okay, damn. You're right.
Yeah, you keep that other stuff to you.
Let's stay stateside.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I was born out here.
I know.
No,
but the hamburger meat doesn't say that.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I even have a hard time explaining you to people who are like, who are you doing your podcast with? It's you, Joe, and who? I'm like, yeah, this guy, Mo. He's a barber on Taylor Street.
Hold on. We
bar.
stop right there. Don't say barber on Taylor Street or next to the bar ever again.
It's not there
right?
anymore.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what I was. But then that's what I was saying.
Right. Yeah, but
And it's a pube artist.
a artiste.
Pube artist.
Pube artiste.
Sorry, I remember being a kid and remember Real Sex or whatever on HBO or Skinamax and they had like in London there was an actual like pube artiste. Like people would go there and wait in line to get like fucking that shit done. I was watching it all day
like Edward Scissorhand on the bush.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like glittering it and dyeing. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Man.
Wow. Made me realize England was not the place to be.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Mike is thinking about mine, and I go out there.
No. I mean, anybody, oh yeah, London's cool, but the food is atrocious. That's all you hear.
Although they got some of the greatest food in the world, but it's like French or somewhere else.
Right.
Like,
It's another country's
London food.
Yeah, you got
You got all the chefs from around the world coming in there to make the
Right.
best foods, but their food itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, where the hell do I start? I guess. I mean,
the first camel you got on.
No, he said we weren't going that far back.
Yeah, come on. We already went past that.
Yeah. We're not doing baby's first camel.
So
Baby's first camel ride.
So when I was in high school, I didn't know Mike nor Joe. So that was a complete.
We weren't in high school anymore.
You guys were not in high school anymore, and I was going to high school in more south suburbs at that time. So either way, we wouldn't have gone to the same school. But after high school, I went to a college for a few years. Studied archaeology and anthropology. Found out that the school the school advisor had given me a shit ton of classes that apparently I was supposed to take. I wasn't supposed to take.
Oh, God.
And so after like about 2 years into it, I go to like make sure that I'm on the right track with all the classes.
Right, how am I looking?
You know, right. And she's like, yeah, I don't know why you took these classes right here. And I'm like, the fuck do you mean you don't know why I took these classes? You told me to take these classes.
Right. You're the advisor.
And,
you advised me to take them.
And she was like, no, I don't think it was me. I think you sat with somebody else. I'm like, the fuck are you? I was like, dude, we're signed to people. It goes by like a last name basis. You were the person I spoke to 2 years back. And she's like, no, I don't think so. I was like, look, I even have a sheet with your handwriting on there. And at that time, she was like, oh, well, you know, it's not that big of a deal. You can just take the classes you need to take. We can fix that up. And I'm like, it's not a big deal. I just wasted how much fucking time and money. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. And I left school.
Okay.
I left school.
What school is this?
This was Moraine Valley, or as most people like to call it, Moron Valley. But yeah, it's a south suburb college.
I'm familiar.
All right.
A lot of our listeners may not be, but
Yeah.
you know, it's a known community college here.
Yes.
Around here. She was probably a graduate.
So while I was attending the college though, I was still trying to figure out, because now archaeology and anthropology, the reason why I went for that subject is because like I've always been like in love with like with science. With you said with bones.
Yeah, you get that bone.
It used to be paleontology when I was young. It actually used to be like really fucking good with like biology and paleontology and all that stuff, especially like I used to be able to completely build a skeletal structure of a dinosaur and know where and how the bones fucking placed in.
Aren't you too young
like,
for Jurassic Park?
7 years old. No, that was around my time. What are you talking about? But I was like at like
Asperger's.
Huh? I don't know right now.
He might be 7-year-old who knows that much. I mean, that's usually a big sign, as you know.
But yeah. So when I went to school, I stayed in love with archaeology and anthropology and paleontology, and like I decided I wanted to study it. But I was also very interested in like storytelling, and like, you know, I wanted to make like some movies at some point. Like there's actually a whole plan. Huh?
Called a creative itch.
A creative itch, right?
Okay.
So there was I even had like this whole fucking story, this plan.
I was gonna ask for the light. Thing. I'm like, you should put on the red light right now.
Red light? What do you mean?
He's trying to draw a connection to you being a porn star because you're a creator, right?
I was gonna say you can write some porns.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that joke is giving out a lot.
Yeah.
What's it called? So they had a film club over there that I decided to join, which was the last year that they had that film club over there, and for a good reason, in Moraine Valley.
Okay.
Okay,
so you didn't drop out of school. You just
No, I did drop out of school, but when I was still attending it, I decided to check out like the film club over there.
Okay.
Right, and it was the last year that they had it running, and again for a very good fucking reason. I joined it expecting and hoping to learn something, and then what it turned out to be was like a bunch of dipshits around my age who were like basically fucking around the entire time, barely focused on anything to do with filming. Yeah, I mean, right. But still, you're working on a fucking movie. You're working on a fucking movie at the end of the day, you know? Like, I expected something to learn out of this.
Right. I had the same problem.
Yeah.
Similar. I had a little creative itch. I heard, a buddy of mine had taken this class and he really liked it. It was called Producing Electronic Music. I was like, okay, that sounds interesting.
Right.
I'm into electronic music.
Nowadays, you still fuck around.
Right. And like, it's it's always been an interest of mine, and I was like, maybe I could learn how to do some of this stuff. Well, it was that year, that semester, they had moved the lab. The sound lab moved from like one building to another, and they were really slow with setting it all back up. So we got pretty much an A for doing almost nothing at all in the class, and it is, one of my, it's weird, but it's one of my biggest regrets from college is that class was such a letdown.
Right. And that's exactly basically what it was with me.
It was like I was supposed to have known what I was doing when I was going into it in order to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like the teacher was there, but, it was just bad. Like, not all the computers had the programs that we needed.
At least you guys had, like, a teacher or, like, an adult at all over there. Like, the person who was, the captain, whatever the fuck it is, I don't know what the hell you call him, the head of the fucking group, was basically, I want to say he was probably just at my fucking age too. So, like, it's literally a bunch of children. It's like, it was a blind leading the blind type of situation. And then they just, like, very, very quickly, like, the last couple of weeks before they had to have a project done, rush into a fucking random ass story. They made a quick vote on, like, a random story of, like, anybody who put whatever fucking thing is down there. They're like, we're just gonna do this one right here. And then really quickly and shittily made a film where, like, I couldn't look at anything or, like, learn anything from anything that was going on because of how fast. And, like, I was asking them, like, can you guys explain what the fuck is going on right now? And they're like, oh, well, we don't have time. We gotta hurry up. We don't have time to, like, talk about any of this. And next thing I know, they finished an awful product that obviously so they were, if they won that competition, like, that they had to go for at the end of the year, then, or at least had gotten, like, a higher ranking, then, like, the school probably would have given them another year or two. But because of how awful they did with it, that was the last year they shut it all down.
But it sounds like you didn't even have anybody, like, officially in charge.
I mean, there wasn't anybody officially in charge, but they still provided, like, the equipment and everything that you needed, like, they had all that stuff.
But I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, all that stuff is
still
money.
Just a bunch of monkeys trying to fuck a football at that point. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And,
right.
What's the use?
But
the files are in
exactly
the
why it fucking failed. Exactly why it failed. So, that's a Zoolander reference.
It is. Yeah,
that's a Zoolander. I got that one.
It was a little late, but he got it. But, well, then who grades you if there's no...
No, it was a club. There was no grading. Yeah, it wasn't a class.
Oh, but you guys got shut out at whatever competition or whatever thing that was entered into.
So they weren't just going to let it go on for the next one. They're like, we're not going to spend any more money on it type of thing or whatever. But either way, that was the last year. I dropped out, like, around that same time, actually, that had ended. And I was like, I wasn't sure what the fuck it is that I wanted to do, so I went to work at UPS for a good 5 fucking years. But honestly, it was a very big learning experience for me. Now, a lot of my families are all, like, into, like, whatever fucking entrepreneurial bullshit that they wanted to get into. Like, this person has this business and that person has that store, and just all that fucking bullshit. And, like, everybody was like, oh, you should come work with me, and I was like, no, I don't want to work with family. At that time, I wanted to try to, like, split away as much as I can.
Do your own thing.
Right, from family. And that was because I didn't, there was a lot of issues that I had with my family at the time.
Anything you want to share with us?
Right now, no.
Okay.
But maybe future things or whatever, right?
We'll just call it family drama.
Yeah, shit
okay,
like
cool.
That. But I did try to make it into more of a thing to, like, avoid family at a certain point in time, and so I started just working at UPS, which again was, I think, one of the best choices I've ever made. Which is weird as fuck, because a lot of times you talk to somebody, you tell somebody, hey, like, I went to work at fucking UPS, or like, man, I feel so, especially people who have worked at UPS before, like, it's kind of awful, but I took it as, like, I mean, I was basically paid to work out. It was exercise, and you got fucking paid for
you
it.
like Kevin James and King of Queens running around in the shorts.
not box trucks, so I didn't have to wear the brown shorts.
Yeah, I mean, those drivers now make like what, over $100K.
Yeah, they make good money.
Yeah,
they do make good money.
It is a highly coveted job, and people just don't.
No, I was on what's it called, the ground. So like it was like I was unloading and loading trucks basically, like by hand, right? But the people that I met over there, we had areas, and each area basically like consisted of like maybe 6 belts or whatever it is. There were 6 doors, 6 trailers that you worked on, and that was your area with like your supervisor. It was an easy ass fucking job. But then like the people that I met over there were, especially in that area 116, you know, I still remember it, like I fucking love it. But,
shout out to 116
to 116,
UPS.
yo. But yeah, the best fucking people I've ever met over there, and they basically became like a second family to me.
Nice.
And like I learned a lot from them, and yeah, I mean, man, we used to do so much shit. Like it was a great time. We were also one of the best fucking areas in the company at the time too. Like I want to say we probably had the top 2 fucking employees in the entire fucking building over there.
So you guys were like the fastest loaders?
We were the fastest unloaders, and we were actually fast. Like, all right, so there was once where during peak season, right, during like the high seasons for them, they
like Christmas.
Yeah, like around holidays,
Okay.
Christmas times, and everything, right? They let you work like multiple shifts if you wanted to, right? And so it was me and like the few people from like the 116 area. We used to work like 18 hours a day, like just because we're like, fuck it, why the hell not, you know?
Overtime.
Right. And yeah, we did it as a challenge. We got overtime. A lot of times it was like right around like where contracts are being made. So like we're about to get a raise, and then like you get back pay for all of that time too. So it was just like, dude, like,
Plus
why the fuck wouldn't you do it?
Plus you're with a crew of people you like
That
working
you
with.
like working
It
with.
doesn't-
Exactly.
Makes it
It wasn't tiring.
It doesn't hit as hard.
Right.
When you're with
just, those people.
Right. When you're just fooling around with your friends.
Yep.
You know.
But yeah, so like we were so fast with a lot of stuff, right? There's the one day where they were trying to take down a trailer within time, and they had like average for like a trailer to like completely unload it. If you were going for like a shorter trailer, like a 20-foot, that's like you want to say maybe like 30 minutes or so to like take that down. And then if you want to do like a larger trailer, like
Like a semi-truck?
like a semi truck, like
Okay.
a box. There's like a box truck, and then there's like an EMHU, I think it's called, which is like the swing door ones.
Yeah, the 53-footer.
Right, the 53-footers.
Versus the 20-footer.
So there's the 20-footers, and then is it 53-footers, and I know there's a box truck, and then there's a 53 or something like that. I can't remember the difference
Yeah,
between
and
them.
then don't
Right?
they have like the half little guys that they sometimes use?
Pup trailers, that what
Yeah.
they're called?
The pups we almost never really like. The pups would be the 20-footers.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those would be taking usually around like 45 minutes to an hour. At least like that's what like the company would tell you, you know. Like it's almost rare when like that
Right.
actually fucking happened.
But that's the goal they
But right.
set for you to get that shit
Right.
done.
And they just backed in this completely fucking full 53-footer, and this thing was packed. And we see the supervisor freaking the fuck out, and she's like, "Oh my god, I don't know if we can take it down. This isn't on our shift, right? We're working on somebody else's shift right now." And me and my one of my friends, basically like one of the fastest ones in the fucking building, we go and we tell her, we're like, "Hey, like you put us in this trailer, and we'll knock this fucking thing out for you." She's like, "No, it's gonna be like really risky. We got to take it in under 50 minutes. I don't think we'll be able to do it." And I tell her, I'm like, look, like you could either risk it with the people that you know,
You gotta risk it for the biscuit,
right?
brother.
So you okay?
Damn, I still
Bless
heard
you.
that motherfucker. Dude. That was loud as fuck. By the way, that was his mouth and not his ass.
I just had to cough. I had to swing everything away, and I tried to bury
I'm
my
looking
head.
at you
I'm
like,
sorry.
what?
Yeah, I was wondering what he was doing
What
too.
is he doing, man?
Yeah, no, I felt it like come like I don't know. I like
that was like a trumpet.
like I'm feeling like some sort of allergies. Like maybe I didn't take.
By the way, you guys left me on the memo. You guys are both sitting here in cardigans, and I'm wearing a fucking hoodie that says "Support your dealer." Support your local dealer.
Look, man, we didn't talk about wearing the same
No, it
thing.
was coincidence. Yeah,
You know,
me and Mike were on the same wavelength. So.
sometimes, you know, I mean,
But
I mean, the kid's not here for no reason. You know?
I'm waiting for you guys both to pull out the pipes, the old man pipes.
Oh, they're right there. I got one right there, and I got more upstairs. I'll get you one.
I'll get you one. I call this my my Mr. Rogers sweater.
Nice.
Yeah.
But so as we tell her, like, you know what, it's up to you. We're not gonna fucking force you into this or anything like that. But as we're talking about this, somebody who knows us, she hears us and she tells the supervisor, she's like, yeah, fuck your guys, let them go in there. She's like, trust me. And she's like, I'll even make a bet with you, like a $20 bet that they'll fucking take this down before the time that you're asking for. And she's like, all right, fuck it, why the hell not, right? Puts us in there. Now it was a 50-minute thing that, like, we had a time limit on there, and we expected to probably take it down by 45 minutes, and this thing was fucking loaded. It was actually a fucking tough trailer. We got it down in under 30 fucking minutes. And the entire time, dude, she's like, what the fuck? Like, just like the whole time she's like cheering us on and everything, going crazy about it. And the fastest worker and like their fucking their shift, he was the one that got pulled out of the trailer for us to replace him. And he's standing over there and he's fucking pissed. And we're walking out, we're closing up the trailer, and he looks at it and is like, yeah, you guys can go so fast, you can kind of run around in a circle and go fuck yourselves. So fucking mad. And then me and my friend, we just look at each other and we both laugh. But, like, man, It was the funniest fucking thing. It was a good fucking thing to say, honestly. Like,
so, Mike and I are going to test this theory, just like we're trying to test him with the edibles. We're going to see how long it takes you to unload those rooms.
Hey, no, fuck that. Fuck that. Hey, that was the past self, right? I could probably still do it, but I'm not going to fucking do it like that anymore. Fuck that.
Worth a shot, right?
Hey. I mean, he doesn't have his crew with him.
Yeah,
I gotta have the gloves. People. Exactly. Hey, the gloves were a whole thing.
And the belt, right? Do you guys do the belt with the suspenders?
You didn't need to do the belt, but like it was an optional thing if you had one. But like the gloves, man, they're a fucking big thing though. Oh, if you didn't have the gloves, everything was just sliding out of your head. But if you had that shit, you were gripping shit. Like I felt like Spider-Man at the fucking time.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, it's crazy if you have good ones.
NFL wide receiver, like, you got it.
No, but I did a lot in that building, man. I used to actually, I had like a decent amount of like zip codes memorized and where they would go to around the world, and like, or well, at least like around like the fucking national and Canada world, But
we're
I knew a lot of
60607. We're 60607.
Right? No, well. It's not to like this fucking
America,
point.
Oh. In the northern part of Northern America, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, stuff like that. Like I would know like just like by the first couple numbers or whatever the fuck it is, or where around the general location is it going to? Yeah, but yeah, you're saying over here. Yeah. But yeah, I used to
sounds like the dinosaur bones again. Kind of. Just saying.
Yeah, but
continue
and
your
the editing.
and the editing. I'm gonna cut down all of that. So this, I mean, like about 5 years into it, I was starting to get like really fucking tired of working over there. I wanted to do something else. They had like a very small section in the building where like they were doing forklifting. So I started learning how to forklift so I can quit. And basically, as soon as they taught me, I went to a forklifting job with one of my friends who had recommended me working over there, and those were, I want to say, fucking fun ass fucking years. I worked there for 3 years, and those 3 years, like, again, really fucking good at the job. I learned how to fucking drive a forklift like pretty decently within 2 fucking days, and then within a couple of months I started teaching. How like I started teaching people and like I was able to fucking like qualify people for like driving and all that.
It's funny because like you would consider yourself like a gamer, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I always looked at the forklift as like
a controller.
Yeah, like I mean I've never actually done it, but I've used some things that kind of use similar controls, right? And it always messes with me. Like I'm the guy who I put on a video game, I'm changing whatever settings they are to classic or,
right.
Whatever, because I don't know, how to do the different things, right? like the inverted sticks, something like that, you know, where I'd be like, I'm going up, but it's going down, you know, it's like...
I actually prefer the inverted so much more.
Right, no, so I'm saying, I'm like, that's probably why you were like somebody who like picked up on that real quick, because you're used to like
a game type of controller
the gamer
thing.
controllers.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility for it. I wouldn't say that. But no, I did get pretty good pretty fast with it. I actually I got so good that I was helping some people out who were like, they were working there for 20 fucking plus years, and they were like, hey, I can't get this piece out right here, and I'll just like go in there, just fucking move whatever the fuck it is, but you know, right? And it was like, they're like, how do you do it like that? And I'm like, yeah, just I don't know, like get good,
right.
You know. But
like, I imagine Mo, like, have you ever seen that like those videos on Instagram or YouTube or wherever where people do like really weird things with
the coin flips and all that shit with
the coin flips, or like the guy who uses the backhoe to cross the river.
Yeah,
you know, like or he and it's like you're like, how the hell is he doing that? You know, and the guy's just like moving the bucket truck or whatever, and making it like using that as an anchor and then moving the thing. Like, look,
a lot of the stuff with like I felt like at least it was common sense physics things. Like so there's been some times where if something had like fallen over, if it was like a one piece thing, like a lot of people similar to like the coin flip thing with like the forklifts, if you ever seen that, like a video of that, where like if they have like a quarter, sometimes they'll have like a quarter on the floor, right? And if you press down the point of the forklift of the fork onto the quarter, it will flick the quarter up and land on the forks. And a lot of freight you were able to move very similarly to that, like where I was just like, I'd press on it, it will launch it up a little bit, and I'll just be able to like move things like up and down, whereas people are just like trying to like pick it all up and everything. I'm like, dude, get the fuck, you don't need to do all this fucking shit, you know? And it was just
don't say playing video games fucking, you know, has no real world value.
At least I guess if you're forklifting.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm sure that's the same for almost any heavy equipment. Yeah. You know, I mean, just because I'm just thinking about. You're talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, it's like this dude's playing GTA and he's flying through the circles or whatever.
All right, like just dodging all the cars and everything.
Right, he's like, you know, this guy's one of those people who goes through the game and is like, perfect, like boom, boom, boom. You know, I imagine that's what it kind of was like for like to watching you do this.
I wouldn't know because I've never watched myself do it.
Right. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
You know, like I've seen a few things like online about like people. You know, it's almost like one heavy equipment operators.
And I'm sitting over here like, man, I just made a joke about how he wanted to write porn movies, and now he's sitting here in detail talking about he spent 3 years playing with large packages.
God damn it.
No, just packages.
God damn it. All shapes and sizes, right?
He was an equal opportunity package handler.
Front door or back door, he always delivers.
Right.
God
knock, knock. Who's there? Motherfucker.
I unloaded and loaded.
Yeah.
I'm picturing out. Remember Chuck and Larry?
Yeah.
Remember the mailman?
No.
When the mailman found out Chuck and Larry were gay and he was trying to hit on him, he goes, I always deliver. Like,
oh, yeah. Always.
Yeah, that was a fun time. Other than the forklifting thing itself, the people over there were like, and honestly, till today, I feel like that time should not have fucking existed. The way, like, dude, it was a wild land over there. Like, we got away with so much fucking crazy shit. We used to like, so realistic. Partly because of like how good. Like there was a group of us, how good we were. We probably actually realistically did like 4 hours of work in an 8-hour day because of how fast we were with a lot of things. So it would be like
how efficient you were.
Right. We did like 30 minutes of like actual work, and then we took like 30 minutes of like fucking with people for like pranking. Dude, I used to prank so many fucking people. I have countless stories.
So is this why you're not there anymore?
No, I quit. because there were all right. So they were actually supposed to give me a supervising spot, but then they worked hand in hand with like an actual fucking basically a cult called the God Squad, And this one guy who should not have been qualified to get that fucking position, they hired him over me, to give him because he was a God Squatter. And so basically at that point I told them to go fuck themselves, and I left the company over there because of that. Especially because like the day that they hired him, like the first day he was supposed to be working over there, they tried to ask me like, hey, do you mind like showing him around, like, you know, teaching him a couple things? And I was like, no, go fuck yourselves. What the fuck? Like I'm not fucking like, what are you guys talking about? Well, probably take the R word out.
Man,
I'm not
by the
stupid.
way, he just dropped a hard R.
A hard R like crazy?
He just dropped a hard R. He really dropped a hard R.
You want to apologize for that now?
I did apologize. No, I didn't
got canceled?
apologize.
Like
I got canceled immediately.
Just formally say, like, hey, I'm sorry for that, guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry I dropped that hard R.
Anyway.
I'm sorry for Mo. Anybody listening?
Look.
You know he's cutting that whole part out now.
No, he doesn't have it in him.
I know. I won't. I don't think I'll do it.
I'll take
it.
It'll take him too long to do it.
I think I'll take it. Good one. No,
gotta be perfect.
Anyway, yeah, I didn't. Yeah. So I told them basically go fuck themselves, and I quit soon after. But while I was applying for like the supervising spots was also when I was like learning how to become a barber and everything. Because I was honestly kind of getting tired of like working over there too. I wanted like I was kind of like hitting my limit, and I was like, if I don't get the position, I'm just gonna leave. Right. That's it. You know, I'm done with it. And since
regardless of liking the people that you're working with, you gotta get some sort of upward momentum.
Right. Yeah. No, I can't. That's so one of the things that I know for a fact about me is if I don't feel like I'm like moving, you know, then like then I start hating, like I hate myself and I hate everything around me at that moment until like I find the next thing to like actually put more into, you know, like I have to keep fucking working on things. Like if I don't work on something like, or like have like a change of work, like constant things, then like it just, I don't know, it fucks me up sometimes. But
all right, so you're saying we got about 3 to 5 years with you here?
About
max?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think we got less.
No.
He's overworked already.
Fed up.
No, we're doing this right here is fine. It's just, you know, soon we're gonna start working on the filming and everything. That's one reason why.
Yeah, when are we gonna start doing that? Oh, we gotta start working on a script.
Well, we gotta start working on a script. Yeah, I have
and
Mike's
Mike's gotta get a little douchier.
I have
now.
You said what?
We gotta get Mike a little douchier.
Douchier?
What do you mean?
I was making a joke.
Like double pop collar kind of douche? Or?
Yeah. Menthol smoking, Jameson chugging.
No, not even. I don't smoke anymore. I don't drink Jameson anymore.
PBR at least.
Ugh.
You're not going to be a method actor.
No, it would kill me to.
Are you talking about actor. For
Karen Gosler? Okay. Like, you can't be a method actor.
Yeah, no, there's no method acting.
Look, we have a couple scripts actually in the works. There was two friends of mine who are writing some stuff for us. I'm just waiting for like the works to be done, and after I read it, I wanna see how much I like it, whether I want to approve it or not for us to work on this. So we got a few things actually coming up, but it just, you know, until it gets done, it's just gonna be a time taking thing. You know, that's one reason why I've always liked storytelling and like filming and all this stuff, like why I wanted to go into it so badly and why I started working onto it is because it is the thing that, like, it doesn't matter how many times you do it, it's different every fucking time. You know, even every day. It doesn't matter if you're working on the same project, you know, the same fucking movie or the same show or the same whatever it is. At the end of the day, it's constantly moving and it's constantly changing, and every day is a whole new thing. Every day is a whole new experience, and it's a good time.
Right,
it's a fun time.
Okay, that's great. So we do have more time because, you know, boxes are just boxes.
Right.
Yeah, they are. It's just it gets stale.
Hair is always hair.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, but everything we do on here is gonna be
it's a different thing. It's some stuff that changes around every day. It's stuff that's gonna keep me more focused on, like, you know, changing and growing. Especially, you know, we're in a company together and everything. We're gonna keep growing and changing this together, you know, to make it into something that I'm hoping we're all trying to, get big with it as big as we can with this,
Like, no offense to anybody I work with if anybody listens, but
Fuck
I would.
No, just.
I'm sorry again.
He's already writing a new script.
Yeah,
That's a new line.
it's just
That was part of the line. No,
he's a method actor.
I am.
Meth head actor.
He enjoys playing
I told you
No,
that
but, like,
story in confidence,
he
right?
enjoys playing with packages.
Right, like I totally want to see this grow too.
Yeah.
Like I would love to be able to tell the people I work with, hey, this thing is really taking off, and it's got to be my full-time job now. It's not just a nights and weekends kind of a deal like the way it is now, or every single day if you're Joe
with no life.
Right.
Sits there's a keyboard warrior attacking everybody.
Right. And if you haven't been listening to any of the podcast before today, you may not know Joe's story because we have said it, or Joe said it
3,000 times.
We've had a good 10, 11 episodes of like Joe's story touching.
Yep. Right.
The first episode or two, that was Joe's story. We didn't go as in depth as like there's a lot of stuff, but we have been talking a lot about it.
We can split me up over time.
Yeah. Well,
basically
all of us.
Yep.
What we should probably do is like type it up and send it to the guests in advance, so that we don't even have to talk about it.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
And then that saves us like 25 minutes of
a 3-hour show.
Yeah. Then we can get through your part a little quicker, and then they can just that way.
Or
there's
it'd be
less
great
need to
if you could just start
background.
saying my story for me, and then I could just stop talking altogether.
Yeah, well, you want to hear my opinion of Joe's story?
Hold on, we don't want to hear your opinion right now about Joe's story.
The way
because
I see
we're at the last minute right now, so let's close out.
Another cliffhanger.
I always ends up with Mike. No, but we do have more projects. I actually have a ton of stories.
We probably got a couple more minutes because you're going to cut out the whole stuff where you were talking about the hard R and you went all like horrible on us. We had to cancel you.
I apologized for him. I mean,
I apologize too.
No, you said you did.
I said I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
There you go.
I'm sorry. Did you know the South Park thing? So no.
It's the bounty commercial.
Is it?
Yeah, that's where they got it from.
Is it? Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a little kid or somebody spills something. And it's like
right.
And then like the mom is like, "It's okay. Look, bounty saved the day," or whoever, whatever.
I know it from South Park because of the oil spill in that one. And he's like, "I'm sorry."
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. But anyway,
we ruined the Gulf of Mexico.
Sorry. This is
Yeah, no, I didn't want you to give that sorry.
This is Mo, Mike, and Joe, and
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Mo.
And we gotta go.
And we. Well, this has been FNAround at the Clover Club. A Timeless Wolf production, a 312 Wall company.
Merry Christmas! If
Merry
ends up being a Christmas
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy whatever else you
Happy
celebrate.
Holidays. There you go. That's
the word.
That's the PC one. That's what everybody wants to go with right now.
Since when have we been PC?
I mean,
didn't
you just drop down the hard R earlier? That's true.
No, that was you.
That was you.
That was me. No. All right. Oh, have a good one, everyone. Goodbye and good night.